Hey, well, I'm so happy to be here. Um, Sorry, I was just preparing a lot of things. Okay, let me do the mental recap. I just finished the part two of understanding Python environments, and I want to welcome you to this Create Your First Web Page part one. This is going to be a long series since we are going to make four parts of it. So this is part one. Tomorrow we are going to have two and three. And finally, on the last Global Hack Week day, we are going to have part four, right? Just after another session that I want to give for you to be introduced to Common Mind. So remember, this is Global Hack Week Beginners. And since sometimes I heard comments about like, okay, that's not like beginner friendly, or it's weird, because some other times I hear like, I want more complicated stuff. Well, we really want this to be beginner friendly. Even for the previous sessions that I give that were Python, I didn't make them beginner fully because you already needed to understand Python, how to code it, Git, things like that. Even I explain a little bit more complicated concept, which is containers. But for this one specifically, I really want to start for beginners. Let's think we don't know anything about web development. Let's think we don't know anything about, well, yeah, just web development, because I do recommend having some notions on some basics about Git. Git, it's one of the first fundamental things I need. I think we need to learn as software developers or software engineers. Um, but the rest, we're going to learn them here and now, right? So I see some comments. Will we be using React? The answer is yes. Why? Well, because I think it's really simple. React, in difference of the other frameworks, it's not a framework indeed. It's just a library. You can use it freely. Now, we are not going to use React purely. We are going to use, um, yes, Next. So we do create it, or we do use it as a framework. So, little spoiler on that. Will it be backend and frontend? Answer is yes, also. But you're missing one specific part, which is the design. We constantly forget ourselves that if we want to create a web page, yes, we do care about the code and everything, but we also care about the design, right? And that's what it is for parts of it. In this first part, and let me start now sharing my screen because I think that's a good moment for it. Okay, yeah, it's sharing, but I need to add it, of course. Uh, Create your first web page, learning objectives. It's understand the basic UI design workflow using Figma, make an informed where framework choice, and have a ready development environment, right? These learning objectives, it's just for part one. Little spoiler on what's coming up. We are going to create the design first in Figma. We are going to market, to create the template and everything in code with this framework we choose that I already spoiled. It's going to be Next and Tailwind. In the part two, in the part three, we are going to create the backend for it, and finally, in the part four, we are going to make the deployments, the automations, and everything that needs our project for constantly be existing, right? Um, that's the four parts: the design, the prerequisites, the pre-work, everything. Second part, it's going to be the project structure, the front end. Third part, it's going to be the backend. And finally, the DevOps, if you want to think it like that, like doing the deployment, having it hoisted, having it with automation pipelines, having it with, um, yeah, even reports, things like that, right? So I don't know if we are going to have that strict time. For example, if we finish with the design today and we still have time, maybe we can start creating the project and we can start creating the code for the front end, right? And else, if we didn't finish the second stream with the whole front end, we can take time for the third and we can take time for the fourth. But the main idea here is to have the full project complete by the end, right? So excited for this session. Okay, thank you so much. Can you share the checking link? Yes, thank you so much for reminding me that, because I always forgot to, to share this. Oh, and for the people of the past session, I did forget to check. Sorry, to send the feedback. Well, if you're from past session, please leave your feedback at mlh.link/global hack week feedback, just directly as that. And let me see if you have any more comments here. Hey, Ramshack Codes, hello everyone. We already start. We'll be using React. I already answered this. This will be back and front end, yes, and plus DevOps plus design. Can you share the checking link, please? Here it is. So excited for the session. Okay, we're up to date. Thank you so much, and I am excited too. So, why start with the design, and why Figma, of course? The answer about why Figma, it's when I recently, well, not recently, when I started learning about this in the year of the 2018, I think, we used another tool. Well, not me, because I wasn't into this yet, but I saw there was another tool called Sketch, I think, from Adobe, which I don't think it was that great, to be honest. But I was a noob at the moment, right? I didn't knew that much, so it was just my first impressions. Then I tried other ones. For example, when ideas start to be interesting in UI and UX, and even I applied for a bootcamp from UI UX scholarship, which I didn't get. Um, I saw Indeed in design or something like that. Design, yeah, it had a weird name, and that was the tool we used at the beginning in the company I work on right now. Um, then I learned Figma. Then I discovered it. A lot of people was talking about it. It was a huge thing, and don't get me wrong, but the moment I started using it, I discovered why it was a huge thing. Right now, we can be picky. We can say, "Oh, this doesn't work. Oh, this is ugly. I don't know. I want to change this, or I wish I had this functionality." But the real truth is that, for me, I think Figma revolutionized the industry, the whole doing UX, and even with plugins, with the community. At the beginning, it was more accessible. I have to admit, it was more a free tool, and then only the companies had to pay for it. Right now, I know they have like the tires a little bit more limited. Uh, but hey, we are students, so we have student developer pack and we have a Figma student account, right? If you don't, I really encourage you to go and claim your Figma student account, uh, your student developer pack from GitHub, and yes, take all advantages of being student. Actually, mine it's going to end really soon, I think, because I'm no longer a student. Um, but yeah, that's another topic. I'm a huge fan of what Figma is doing. I also know and make critic about other things that I think I didn't like a lot that they are pushing or they are changing. But I think it's why choosing Figma. It's for me a matter of preferences. You can try another tool, but what I do recommend you to do, it's create your design system, right? Create a mockup, create a wireframe, create a UI library if you can, but have a, have an idea of what your project it's going to look and feel like before coding it. Having this idea really helps like the notions of what you're doing. I once heard someone saying like there are two types of authors in the specific scope or in the specific idea of authors of literacy. I mean the people who write and saying like these two types are one that has a mental map of everything and knows specifically what's happening at what point and wants to go from point A to point B, and they plan that and they write over that idea. And there are other ones who has like just a light and they are in the middle of nowhere and they are like pointing with their light and walking and discovering new things, and both can be great and both can be amazing. I work in a startup, so as a startup developer, I know how it feels to have both of that, having a map with requirements and having the specific about what we have and what we need and what the path we're taking, and it's great. But sometimes you just need to be on your own, walking, discovering things, and have tried both. I have to admit the one I like it's having my map, at least for engineering things. There are more things in life, I know, but for engineering, for having these projects, I really love having the map. I really love, in this case, having the Figma design or well the UI design, the UX context, the wireframes of functionality, how we expect of the workflows of the user with every interaction. It's just great, right? And I do think it speeds the development heavily, but really, really heavy. Um, if you have the path, if you have the mind, the map, mindset, and everything that's going to happen, you develop very quickly. Even more with AI tools, you can do it really more quick, right? But if you don't, if you need to constantly check your route, check your next step, that slows you down. That's another key and reason why you should start with the design. But don't take it from me. Actually, This is just recommendations. If you do want to start without a design, that's perfectly fine. You will discover what works better for you, right? Also, it helps non-dev people, like more um, business and stakeholders, to give you early feedback, and you will benefit for that a lot. In, for example, a hackathon environment, let's see that if you start making your wireframes, your mockups, and your design system and everything, you will see that when you present this to the mentors, to the judges, even if they are, um, they will give you, they will have better understanding of what you're trying to explain, and they will give you better feedback based on that. So you can change and iterate over that even without had to code anything yet. Now imagine you spend a lot of time coding an idea, coding something, and you discover based on the feedback for your mentors that you already spent, I don't know, the first day of the hackathon with something that you need to change. That's annoying, right? So I really encourage you to start with your designs next time, right? And give it a try to not only help others understand your ideas better, but for you with that physical product, well, not physically indeed because it's software, right? But with that other help, for you to understand what you're doing, and try to give yourself the feedback of, okay, I messed up here. I don't think that the user will do this or do that, or if the user stops at this point, it will all fail. No, I don't know, something like that. uh, so I am going to give you the quick workflow of how a Figma design looks like. You have to create your new file, set a frame, which a frame, to say something, it's like the canvas, or yeah, the canvas where you are going to paint. These have great sizes. For example, if you want something for mobile, you can take the resolution for an iPhone, for example, or a small laptop, or an iPad, or something like that. Then do your low-fi wireframe. And what I mean with this, not start with the colors and the if this section is going to be a circle or a rounded square, or I don't know, a fancy message coming from the mouth of an animation dragon or something like that. Just start with the going from logging to main page to functionality A to functionality B to functionality C. You're going to divide it in the header, in the hero, the about section, what other things you are going to have in mind, the project, the how to contact. And then when you have that, start build your small component library. Have a UI library. I think that's a great recommendation. Have some buttons, have some cards, have some inputs, some navigation, some already choose typography, some main colors. I'm going to give you the walk on how I do this in my own terms. Define the tokens you want for this, and what I mean with tokens, I mean the colors, the spacing, the font sizes, everything like that, right? There's another thing, for example, concept of called atomic design. When you can think about atoms, then with atoms you can build molecules. With molecules you can build more complex structures like pages, templates, things like that. I cannot remember because I haven't done front end for a while. I've been working with backend and other services, I think, quite the last 2 years. But that's the one thing I can remember. Do we get to pick what our web page will be? Yeah, of course. Actually, I am going to build one for my girlfriend, because I think it was just a great opportunity to start doing that. And you can do yourself one. I don't know if you want to choose. I mean, the idea of this session, it's not to take the code and just fork it and change some colors and some content. The idea of this session is for you to go through this process with me. Take Think of what you want to do the same as I do. Um, for example, in this case, I already mentioned I want to do a page for my partners, like well, she has I don't know what's the name for that in English. She's kinesiology. No, like, well, I will try to translate that in a second. But the thing is that she needs a page for having like appointments and everything. So I will create a wireframe for that. And you need to think your necessities and get down your requirements in a list, and know how to translate that in code and in UX flows, in everything, right? Um, and of course, select your visual identity, what colors you want, what font you want, how you can translate that into the next stage, how you can code it, how you can deploy it. So I will tell you, like, the most challenging parts of this. There are not the technicals. For example, in the second and the third, I will use again front end and everything, but there are a lot of content telling you how to create components in React and how to create context and hooks and everything. So I won't focus on the technical implementation of React and Next and Tailwind. Indeed, I won't focus on the technical implementation of Express, of Node, of the backend. Indeed, I want you to take this series of sessions more of thinking of the product, thinking of what you really want to do. And once you have your idea, and once you have that, translating and doing the technical part, it's not that hard. And again, we are going through a changing era, so there are a lot of things that AI can do for you in terms of technical, but AI cannot think about this, cannot think about a feeling of the user, cannot think about uh, the look and feel of the product, the colors, the things like that. So that's the main thing I want to share here. Uh, so like, for designing handoff, we need things like icons, images, colors, fonts, spacing rules, basic component list, if it is hover, if it's active, things like that, right? These can take months if you do it alone, if you do it yourself. We are talking here about a process that a lot of companies have specific departments just for this. So we're not going to go maybe that deeper, but it's great for you to have in mind, right? Uh, Thankfully, there are a lot of pages that have a lot of assets already available. So maybe for us that we are like indie developers, we don't have that much time, or we don't have that much patience, because creating assets, I think it's one of the most complicated parts. For example, I already tell this to one nephew that tells me like he wants to be video game developer, and I was like, okay, but you want to actually build the game in matter of physics, of matter of the running engine, or do you want to like create the assets for it, the graphical history, the history, I mean the script for the video game? What do you want to do? Like I know you want to create video games, but there are a lot of things happening in there that you cannot imagine. And he doesn't reply. He's like, oh, I just want to be cool and create video games. But he's young. He's young, and he will discover that anytime soon. Same here. Like, I imagine ourselves as being like this small child saying like, okay, I want to create a web page, and someone tells us like, okay, kid, but you want to create the visual things about it. You want to create like the logic behind it. You want to create like the architecture, the systems, the servers, and everything that it needs to be running and accessible uh, worldwide. You want to create just the graphical assets, what you want to do. And we are our nephews saying like, I want to create a web page. Why don't I do everything? Well, in this scale, and even in video games, you can do all. But of course, you are not going to create, I don't know, Legend of Zelda, which is a masterpiece, but required a lot of years, a lot of people to do it. And same, we are going to create our web page, but it's not going to be Apple's web page. And I just say Apple's because they do a really decent and nice job. I know there are many pages that are just insane. I sometimes just take a look to repositories about beautiful web pages. The I don't know, the web page maybe is for a pharmacy company, or I don't know, agriculture or something like that. You're not going to purchase anything. You're not going to uh, call the company or anything. I don't know. That you're not going to be the target, but they do have nice pages, and they are lovely, beautiful. They have like extremely insane animations. I just was checking one from a crypto company that I just think like definitely they spent all the budget on creating the web page, or they do have a lot of time. I don't know, but it was insane. It was really, really beautiful. I can't remember the name of the page because a friend of mine was telling me about this. Actually, he showed that in his computer, but you know what I mean, right? I'm really sure it has happened to you many times that you just enjoy a web page. So, with that in mind, without clarification, um, let's think about the next thing, which is the framework selection. Now, at this point, I want to stop and I want to move to Figma to actually start doing this. So, give me a second and I'll prepare myself to share Figma and to start with this session. Another thing I want you to have in mind is that, of course, we are going to need inspiration, right? Yeah, I need to log in. Give me a second. Okay, great. Okay, here it is. Let me add it to stage. Of course, I will show you. I have my account. It's a student account, so I recommend you to create your student account and take full advantage. I think they give you a um, oh, this is free. Okay, I don't know what happened. I used to have a paid plan, or I don't know. Well, the thing is that I recommend you to have an account for that. Your Figma account, some projects. Okay, yes. Yeah, I don't know what happened, but take a look to this. Six of one project that I can have, 13 of three design files that I can have, two of three Jamboards and slides. So I maybe need to check my condition. Okay. Yeah, view plans. Start organization, more popular. Okay, give me a second. I probably need to refresh my student plan, or I don't know if they even already take that from me. Give me a second. Figma for students. Figma for education. Get verified. Okay, but I wasn't verified. Okay, student, high higher ed. I love tool, and I like to create things here for my assignments. Okay, I will show you this. I think it's worth seeing. If you look for Figma for education or Figma education directly here, you will see this page: free best in class tools for the classroom. Uh, it says get verified. So I click get verified. So I have the education apply. Get Figma for the education for your classroom, part of K-12 or higher education institute. Log in with your school email. I am in my school email. So Instituto Politécnico Nacional. What's your school website? I think it's this one. No, yeah, just this one. IPN.mx. What's your primary field? Graphic, information, computer science. Please upload a copy of your class schedule. Yeah, I think I have that, but I will check in another tab for privacy. Yeah, I think I kind of have that. Okay, again a second. Okay, perfect. Expect graduation date. I'll say December of this year. Yes, agree. Yes, agree. No. Well, for me, it failed. I am no longer available to have an education plan, but if it works for you, I'm really sure it will help. It will help you a lot. Now, let me think if I can. Yeah, I need to delete some of these. Uh, uh, well, I will show you reviews. This move to trash. Move file to trash. I don't want that. I will show you previous projects I worked at before. For example, this one was for a company. This was like a first concept I give them. Uh, like the landing, scrolling services, and everything. I don't know. Like I feel I kind of like that, but then I made an improvement, which was this, and created some components proposal. Then I worked in this other one. So here not only have the design system, I had the stories of what was happening here every time, the login, some basic information about the user, how to change it, how to update it, some banners telling like what's happened, confirmations, um, detailed, some edit pages, add new one, things like that, right? We need to think for the whole project, and for that already have the components, right? The one I use in the header, some action buttons from like confirmation, cancel, or the action indeed. The disable, this is the other thing I was mentioning, right? How they look when they are hover, how they look when they are not hover. Some filters like the nav bar, if it is in dark mode on in light mode, the UI for the login, same dark, no dark, how the tables are going to look every time, if they are mobile, if they are with the dark color, the model, if there's shiny, if there is no shiny, some of the buttons, the filter, if it is the full web or in mobile, everything. You see, um, that's another project. This one, for example, I think it was simpler. Do we build the Figma on our time before part two, or are we completing it tonight? No, I really don't think we will have the time to complete it tonight. Uh, if you want, that will be great. Like completing the Figma in your own time for tomorrow. I will do that for myself, of course, and I'll show you tomorrow what I come up with. Right? For example, for these acoustic vibes, I took existing template and I just adapted, uh, which is kind of similar of what we're going to do today. We are going to look for inspiration in templates in our history and in our projects, and we are going to adapt it, of course, to what we really want, right? Um, this and this. Well, yeah. So I'm going to create a new project. Upgrade to create more projects. Okay. I don't. I currently can't create more projects. So based on the limitations, I am thinking on, I don't know, maybe now paying for Fitma, uh, or take one that already exists. I don't know. I'm thinking about that. Um, mm, mm, mm. Let me first close all of this and let's see the templates. Portfolio, e-commerce, blog, wedding, see more. Okay, let's see the templates and let's try to get inspiration for what we want. Um, the main idea here also should be to have in mind the necessities, again, the requirements of what you're trying to complete. For example, for the web page I want to build, I want it to be like a shocking or a huge landing to be really eye catching. um, the next thing it's just to show like clear sections to see like, don't know what we do, learn it here. Don't know how to contact us, learn it here. You want to learn more, learn about me in deep here. What else? And I was curious, and actually this was going to be a little experiment, to use some of the AI integrations, like with N88, that uses agents and things like that. But I don't know if we are going to have time for that. So maybe add that section like an optional thing or a future improvement. Um, so based on that, for example, I really like this and how it looks. What other these, for example, performance driven gym and everything, it's cool because it also, it's kind of the same area I want to tackle. um, these, for example, I think it's kind of simple for what I want. This is too complicated. This is, I don't know, simple. This other one, I don't know. I don't like it. Moody Dance Studio. This could be because also it's similar to what I want. Maybe I can open them to see more in detail. Yeah, nice. Kind of. Hmm. Was it all? For example, I think from this, the one I liked the most actually was this one. Also, another thing we need to have in mind, it's that well, this all looks like stock images, like really generic. You can see, except from this, probably they were taken specifically for the purpose of this web page, same as the ones in here. Of course, if you want to advertise your gym, uh, but you show pictures of another gym, like it doesn't make sense, right? Same like this, you can if you're building something for a gym, and you put images of things that are not in the gym or the rooms that are not from the gym, it will look weird, you know. About us, if you, for example, it's like saying about us page, and putting images or photos about people that are not in the gym. It's like, what, why? Well, same with this. What about the vacation house one? Uh, which one? Vacation. This or this? Vacation house. This elegant landscape, inclusive, sophisticated. Okay, yeah, vacation. First one, sophisticated house rental. Well, I think this is again too much to rely on the images, because of course this is the place where you want to go, right? Vacation house rental. I think one of these houses it's for that. A haven, you see, like they show what they have, like a gallery, of course. uh, but for this you have to have the assets. So the benefit of this one, for example, it's that you have a impact, you have the contrasting colors, so people say, okay, now I need to put attention. But this doesn't actually tell you that much about financial clarity, right? This, you can put here like environmental awareness or worldwide connection or something like that, that does not have anything to do with it. Well, that real, yeah, do have to do with it, but it's not attached. uh See, if you're talking about taxes and feeling, you get the idea that the image of money, okay, makes sense, complements, but it's not something that without it I won't know what's happening here, you know. um, Same here, a photo, but you don't actually care about Taylor M, you don't know her. You care about these other things, right? And these are things we can work with as indie developers, right? If we were a bigger team, you can say like, oh, okay, now you need to go with the client, take them some photos, blah blah blah, or to the studio or to the place and create the assets for the page. In this case, even these icons, we can take them from existing resources. That will be no problem. So something like this I like, but specifically this one, I think it's quite simple. So let's keep looking for. And for doing that, let's start a new web page, and let's look for UI web inspiration. And of course, we're going to use Dribble. And let's start exploring. Um, for example, this one it's interesting since they have like big pictures, but we have also other things, right? Okay. I also like the colorful of this page, and I like this style of design. Um, Give me a second. I need to pour myself some water, and in the meantime, you can look for more inspiration like me and try to have an idea. Uh, will you be able to use Stripe API so we can add payments on our page? Yeah, for sure. We can take that. Actually, Stripe it's one of the things I have done before, and it's not that complicated. So yeah, we can take a look to that. I'll be back. Hey, I'm back. And what I was away from keyboard, I asked for this. Oh, I am not sharing. Give me a second. Yeah. Again, we are talking about a specific project I already have in mind, which is a web page for my GF. And with that in mind, sorry, uh, here is the data. Oh, maybe she. Okay, here it is. So this is the logo. These are the colors. This is just the icon. So these are the resources I am going to use. This is all I have. Um, what else? Full icon tag. Okay. Yeah. So maybe the idea of this session still it's to look for something that matches that image or that mental image that I have and create a wireframe proposal. Then that will be for the scope of the session. Then in the free time between today and tomorrow's session, I will build a more robust and wide UI design for it, and we are going to start implementing tomorrow. So maybe we can. Okay, this is for the finance phenomena earning. This is not what I want. Maybe we can look for looking for well look some suggestion dashboard landing page card login notification portfolio. Why not therapy? Okay, this is nice. About me, First Breed Connect. Well, again, supporting image that does not, it's attached to the content, can be easily changed for something else, but that not only fills the space, but feels good, right? Uh, um, yeah, could be. What else? No. This is nice. I can work with this. Actually, I do like this a lot. I'm going to open this in our tab. This is good. Let's see. Okay. Um, this also is nice. I like this personal portfolio. So AH Media Creatives, it's nice. I don't know. There's something about this one that I just love. Also, I love how the colors feel, and I think they are similar to what it's happening in here. Uh, so this green and this, what will be violet, pink. Um, but let's take a look to the Tina current page. It looks like this. So the the thing happening here is that it's just landing, make an appointment, about, service, history, us, and the contact. Can we make this better? That's the question. I do think we can. So let's take this and transforming into something like this, which I love. But this also, it's a great sensation of how it feels. Just it's a really smooth scroll, I have to admit. So let's create that. Um, I'm going to open all the projects. And in the Society Design System, I cannot create more files. Come on. So what I need to do, Figma, tell me. I cannot create more design files. Oh, hey. Um, Norwich, are we implementing today? No, we're with the designing file and everything. One thing we can do, if you want to see more implementation, and just let me do the homework or creating the design after the session is done. It's to prepare the setup and the tools for the next part, right? Um, I like the smiley face page. Yeah, I do love it. Also, I think it's great because it's simple. It's a really smooth scroll. What I am doing here, it's not full packed. It's readable, and I think it gets the point. I love all the colors also. Um, so what if we find one we like? Can we use it instead? Yeah, remember the idea is not to copy what I am doing, because I am doing this. Well, I am improving this. Um, the idea it's to have the same um, mental process and applying to your needs, to your ideas, to your future projects. So what a better opportunity that not only try to replicate what I am doing, but to actually create something from scratch yourselves. So I see. I don't have Figma for the moment. Um, I will try to fix it. Right now, what I think I can do it's to create a wireframe. Um, yeah, to create the wireframe. Well, maybe I can create a new Figma account and maybe yeah, I will do that. I will create a new Figma account and we will do the magic there. Give me a second. Okay, I quickly created this. This is my previous account. I deleted that to create the educational account. Now I only have access to this, but I can create more files here, right? Build your own team library. Great. Uh, let's create a new design file, or was what was that? Site. Build and publish your with Figma sites. Wow, that's interesting. But yeah, no, I don't want that. No, let's use just this one. Let's call this Dactina. And okay, got it. I'm going to create under this a new frame, and that will be for desktop. And under this, I'm going to, well, no, I actually, why not? I am going to add another page. This is going to be the wire frame page. I'm going to rename these to the design page. And in here, same, I'm going to open this and let's think this way. What do we want? Well, we still want the header. So let's create a square for that. The appearance, it's no. Okay. Yeah, I'm going to change that later, but we do still want header every time, right? What we want more? Okay, nothing more. We want in the header the logo. So I'm going to add another rectangle for that. I'm going to change a bit the color. I'm going to add another section here that's for the different parts, 1, 2, 3, 4, and I, I want, okay, this doesn't have work, right? So when we want to go to the landing, so we're going to get rid of this. For the others, we want 1, 2, 3. So this is 1, 2, and 3. Oh, oh no. Yeah, like this. Perfect. Uh, I don't know. I kind of like the inspiration of this. So maybe I will put this at the center. And try to separate with colors. This one is the same color all the page. I like the idea of having them different colors, but I would like to see how the interaction is here. So this is the full preview. If I am in here, how do I return to the previous page? Do I keep scrolling? I think I like the idea of having the logo here, and then when scrolling, moving it to here. I don't know. That could be interesting. Um, or maybe having the background of the header melt with this. Yeah, yeah, I can work with that. Um, but the problem is that it had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and here it's services, treatments, testimonials, facts. What can I include in the facts section? Yeah, I can include a facts section. So yes, I like it. I like it. I like it. Okay, that could be like this to match the feeling of this one. And when it starts scrolling, okay, yeah, I'm getting the idea. I like it. Okay, I can close this one now. I can close this one now. What else? What else? Full scroll. And let's talk now about the specifics. So I'm going to change the color also a bit to make it different. And here in the main section, I like how it's like suggesting you scroll, but if we are coming this way, we can't do that. But I don't like the idea of hiding the actions, the buttons. I like the idea of what we did before, which is putting it here. So I am going to do a blend of these three. I am not going to. Yeah, I think I do mean something more like this. The problem is that I don't have that much um, text like this one. So I am going to add something like this. Well, no, I'm going to keep with the boxes. What I did. Okay, this is going to be the catching phrase, and then the button for the action, which I think it's going to be in red. Then the section, what? Yeah, well, the image. Well, the problem is that I don't have images to show that are interesting. So maybe something like about history. Yeah, I'm going to select the works. I'm thinking of about the client or testimonials. I think that's a great idea. And I'm just thinking what will be better, adding that first or adding these services first. Here, for example, they start with the work, of course. So for this other, which is like same a therapy, uh, it starts with a photo which is big and everything, but I don't know. I am not sure if this is what I want. Maybe yes. I mean, like, maybe I can find an image to put it here with the effect of the typography and everything, which I think was great. That's the same here. Huh. But I moved the actions to the top. I do like that. And when now it starts scrolling, the next thing we are going to have, it's another section for who am I? Yeah, and I can have a picture like this. I don't think that will be a problem. Oh, so I do like this a lot. I'm going to be creating the same here. I just don't know. I mean, I like the idea of the photo, the background with the color. I am just don't know about this. This I like the font in the back. Uh, I like this, but I think I can combine that with this also. And what we currently have, it's like just a split of two information here. So I think we can combine these three to have something like that. In this section, have the photo and everything. And if we scroll a little more, we can have the other rectangles. the main idea. It's this is my color code, like in my mind, obviously. Um, the light gray are the sections. The dark gray are the information. The red, it's the main focus of these pages. In the landing, I want the red, the main focus, to be click, make an appointment. In the second, which is the profile for the, yeah, the about me, the about, I want the person to be the main focus. Like, this is who I am, this is me. And I'm adding these other sections as well. And I just need to make sure the gap is the same. Well, there's the idea, right? um, in which here I can do something like this to put information. Huh. If this does not work, maybe I could do something like here and here and this on the next side. But I want to have the same feeling as the page, and the page makes me feel like all needs to be centered, you know? Everything needs to be in the center. It's straight line. uh, you see, like, very, even here there's one thing in the right and one thing in the left. uh, about this one, it kind of feels the same. Center, center, center. I even think these other plays a little bit more with the distribution. Like in here, for example, this is not centered. This is, well, we have like 30-70% of the page distribution. So interesting to have this in mind. What else? Let's continue with the history. So, for example, this is just plain. A lot of people don't want to read this. So let's try something more clickable, something like this. Well, these two are the same. So services, it's the one that needs changes. And services, I like this. Yeah, I love this. So huh, this is going to be a little bit wider, and it's going to be something like that. Uh-huh. Well, I wanted to replicate this, of course, with just these parts. It's kind of complicated. And here, of course, what I want is for each part to get more. How I group this file, view object, group selection. Perfect. Great. Looking fine. And this is for these services. We're missing the contact. And contact, I really liked this, but also I love this. Maybe the fact I'm going to put two optionals. And then I'm going to start adding labels to this. Uh, Rename as landing. This is about. This is services. This is going to be contact. This is going to be FAQ. And the other one I wanted to include because I think it's great. Well, here, for example, testimonials, yes. And also key. Testimonials. Which I think they are great. For the contact, I think I like it more this one. That's divided into two stages. So I am going to add one. I'm going to add a divider here. Well, no, I'm going to add the color. One section here. These two are the same, right? Here is you contact me and I contact you. uh, so I think there's text here. the main section for being contact. And now here it's where the social, well, the landing and everything it's going to be. A little bit more of this. And how do I bring this to the front? Object, bring to the front. Texting here, right? I do feel this is too much. Like it's quite big. And on the other hand, this also feels big, but feels well, feels nice. Um, Also, this works because it does not have the footer, so you can scroll on the bottom and then hit your going upwards again, which I like, and that's what we're doing, right? So yeah, I do like it. I do like it a lot. And the socials, which currently just have one, right? Well, email, contact. Okay, we can figure this out later, like this part of contact. The one I want to include because I just fell in love with that. It's this testimonial. I think from this other testimonial, I I like it both. I think that will be off to preferences. Mm, so, oh, hey, can you hear me? Can you see me? I think I lost connection for a second. This is the fact, right? Well, no, the testimonials is the one I want to use. I like more the carousel. Or what we want is people to see the testimonial, the current existence. So I think this holds important. And the facts, of course, I think Yeah, I love this. So this is going to be work like this one. Still curious. But I think we can put it inside two blocks here. Well, the problem with this was to get them the same, right? And with this, we can change it a little. And and that will be very similar to what's happening here. The only thing I'm curious is what's going to happen with this expand. Do I open a model? I don't know. For this, I'm going to collapse it, of course. But for these, I'm not sure. I'm thinking like having all on one side, this text on the other side, and when I open plus here, this change in the other side changes. What do you think? Do you like it? I kind of like the idea. Okay, I am comfortable with this. I think I have the idea now. I like it. The only thing I need, of course, is to start translating this wireframe into this design. What I need for that, it's I need to choose wisely the colors because all of this is beautiful. I'm going to choose my assets, the type, because as you can see, this typography, it's just awful. Um, I need to check with the client, of course, if she likes this idea. Um, a little bit more. So I think for tomorrow's session, we will be ready to start coding this into Next. Actually, if I have time enough, I probably have some uh, things already built. But don't worry, I will show you even before starting with the writing of the code, the framework selection, and why that is important uh, with the explanation also for the alternatives, right? So thank you so much for joining. We will keep working on this for part two, three, and four. And well, happy hacking. Don't close your computers yet because there is Bashir coming up. Um, well, never mind. I see there's a huge time gap. It starts at 10 a.m. For me, that will be another day. At the time, I'm pretty sure for you, probably time will change a lot. But how could cloud computing work with Bershini coming up next, people? If you have any question, I think this is the time. Else, thank you so much for joining me. It was a great time I had with you, and I'm really excited to continue with this project. I think at the end we will have a great first web page for many of you. For me, it won't be my first, but I will. It will be one I enjoyed. One is part two. It will be tomorrow at 9 p.m. ET time. Remember to check the time zones. A little recommendation on that, it's always check Global Hack Week agenda and put a notification, check in priority, register, and well, you will receive the notification every time. Also, stay tuned to Discord, and there's a lot of things happening there. Thank you so much, and well, bye bye.